We at KSHJ AM 1430 are celebrating this year's theme for students in the Archdiocese of Galveston, Houston, Renewing Hearts and Transforming Schools, the Jubilee Mission of Catholic Schools. There has been a lot of transitions this year for many parishes. Today, we are highlighting the Shrine of the True Cross Catholic Church and School, which is located in Dickinson, Texas. Joining us on the program is the church's pastor, Father Ricardo Arriola, a.k.a. Father Rick, and joining us is the new principal, Amanda Smith. Amanda and I are the same age. It's at Strake at St. Agnes at the same time, so we are the same age. We know each other. We have a lot of thoughts on Catholic education. Father Rick, Amanda Smith, thank you so much for being here in the studio, for making the drive all the way from Dickinson here to our studios.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Father Rick, I want to start with you and tell us a little bit about Shrine of the True Cross. It's located in Dickinson, Texas, and I think people might be confused at first because they hear shrine, the word Shrine of the True Cross, and they might think it's like a little chapel or it's a small little place to go on a pilgrimage, but it's a full parish, community, school, and church. Tell me a little bit about it.
That's right. It's actually a very vibrant community in Dickinson, Texas. It's a shrine, but it operates as a parish, so it's both. We call ourselves Shrine because it's, every shrine has a different devotion, particular devotion, and ours is to the True Cross, the relic of the True Cross. We are the only shrine in America that is of the True Cross. So I invite everybody to come and, venerate, adore the relic of the True Cross. It's every time that they come to Mass, we have it for people's veneration after Mass and before Mass as well. But yeah, it's a vibrant community, a lot of young families in the area. And we also have a parochial school, of course, True Cross Catholic School. And yeah, it's a growing community. And yeah, just please visit our website for a lot of things happening.
And I'm sure it's been an opportunity for growth for you, Father Rick, because before this, you were a parochial vicar at St. Bart's in Katy, and this is your first assignment as a pastor. You were administrator there at Shrine of True Cross for about a year. I remember you came on board at the beginning of 2024, now officially the pastor there, and learning about what it's like to be the pastor of a church with a school attached.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about how special that has been for you to kind of take up that role and responsibility.
Absolutely. It is a responsibility. I was a teacher myself, an elementary school teacher for 5 years. I taught for public schools in A-Leaf ISD. And so I think God was preparing my heart for this moment now as a pastor with a school. And I had a blast when I was a teacher. I think the Lord, again, was forming my heart to love and have passion for education. And so, yes, it is quite a change. St. Bartholomew has a pre-K, daycare and pre-K, but this is completely something different. Our school goes from pre-K 3 all the way through 8th grade. And I see it as a ministry of the parish. I want all parishioners to know that we are supporting our school because, we have 100 students this year, and what a great opportunity to reach, almost 100 families day in and day out. I mean, what a great privilege, what a great responsibility to evangelize them, make them, fall in love with the Lord, with the church, with tradition. And so it is a great responsibility, but I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Very good. Well, it's great to know your background as a teacher because, Amanda Smith, I want to bring you into the conversation here. First, congratulations on being the new principal.
Thank you. It's a great honor to serve over at True Cross.
Talking about a lot of responsibility, right? But I guess the good part is that Father Rick has a background as a teacher. That must make it easy for you to communicate with him about kind of what you want to do as principal, kind of goals, and kind of a shared respect for Catholic education.
Absolutely. I think it brings a beautiful shared vision. He understands what we're experiencing in the classroom, and so it helps that he's at the helm of everything. So it's really a benefit, I think, especially as a first-year principal.
Yeah, very good. But, of course, you've had a background as an administrator. You had served for more than a decade at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Church in Houston. Tell me about kind of what you learned being an administrator there that kind of helped prepare you, think, to take on the challenge of being a principal
Definitely. Well, I was there for 12 years. Started as a teacher, went into admin probably about 6 years there. And I really had a lot of hands-on experience from curriculum to the day-to-day, running the clinic, running the admissions, every Catholic school, all of your admin wears a lot of hats. And so I think that really formed my how I work as a principal. I know the different roles that my staff has to go through to be able to make a day run. And so I think that really helped me. I've been there. I understand what they're going through, from my admissions person to my clinic person to my office staff. I've served in their shoes. Maybe not. I don't think I ever taught pre-K, but God bless our pre-K teachers. But it's really prepared me. I think also going to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school from kinder through grade 12. And that really gave me so I have the viewpoint of a student, the viewpoint of a teacher, an admin, and I think that really has put me where I am and given me that vantage point that's helped make this year so far, 1 month in, pretty smooth, smoothly.
Like I mentioned before, I was at Strike when you were at St.
Yes.
Agnes, good old days. So do you think, Amanda, did you always have an inkling, even when you were a student going to Catholic school, that you wanted to get into Catholic education?
Yes, I have to tell you, I was one of those kids that played school. And so, yes, I used to take home the worksheets and make my siblings, poor things, do them. But I think I started in public schools teaching just because out of college, it was the easy go into, straight into, I worked in Sci-Fair. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot. I was a bilingual educator. I did Spanish, English, and that really helped me, I think, relate more to my families that they're experiencing, because we do have a good population of multilingual students. So being able to serve those kiddos, being able to serve those families is really important, because I found that growing up in Catholic schools, it wasn't always the case where, someone would speak Spanish on campus. So I think that really did help me.
Yeah, and it gives you a point of comparison, Catholic school, public school, seeing the differences between those. Father Rick, I want to talk more about how you kind of been working with Amanda, being the new principal now. But to give people some background, you were telling me that you were part of a program that they have for priests to kind of help them if they have a parish school as connected with their church, to help kind of get them ready for everything. Tell me about that program when you participated in that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Catholic Schools Office, they send, I believe, about 2 to 3 priests every year, every summer. And it's called School for Pastors with Schools.
Okay.
And it is imparted at the Notre Dame campus, beautiful campus
in
Indiana, South Bend. And so it's a great opportunity. We're there 5 days, and it's almost like a retreat, but it's kind of intense too, because you get a lot of conferences related to this. To work well with our principal. To be able to understand, what the mission and vision is for your school. Also, kind of like the current problems that Catholic education, Catholic schools face. I think we all know the struggles in the whole country with enrollment.
Yes.
Also, they talked about the school choice, the vouchers. Some of the dioceses. They've been doing this for the last 3 years, and so they were encouraging all of the other dioceses that it's probably coming, to us. I think it's going to be next year, 2026. So, we were talking about current things, but more than anything, it was just the conversations with other pastors that, they were, some of them, they've been in their schools for years. Some of them are new, like myself. And so it was just great community of pastors with schools.
And it kind of helped you also to kind of formulate what is the mission and vision for the school as well. It kind of gets you thinking about all these things that maybe you hadn't thought about initially.
Yeah, so we were in one of those sessions, and the instructor, they said, okay, so pastors, do you know the mission and vision of your school? no hands. We were like, oh my gosh, I don't know the mission and vision. All of us, we
Right.
were wondering, is like, what is my mission and vision of my school? And so
Other than just a generic one, like to
right,
promote
exactly.
the
It's like,
Catholic faith.
what exactly is it? And so, everybody, we pulled our phones, and we were surprised that we didn't like them at all. Yeah, we were like, wow, I didn't
You
know
mean
that
like
was
too generic, not
it was
specific enough.
exactly. I mean, it was just like a bunch of words that, they were saying nothing really.
Okay.
I mean, extremely broad. And so they were saying to us that, well, maybe one of the first things you got to look into is to have a clear mission and vision, because everything that happens in the school is going to be geared to advance this mission and vision. And I said, that's something that I'm going to, go back home and talk to Amanda about our mission and vision. And to my surprise, she's like, Father, I think we need to do something with our mission and vision. I'm like, what? That's exactly what I was going to ask you. So we started working, and we're super happy about what came out.
So let me get your end on that, Amanda. Did you happen to check the website, was looking at the vision, trying to get up to speed with the school, and you happened to come across that? Because I'm wondering if you read the same thing, kind of said to yourself, this is too broad, this isn't specific enough.
I
It's not
did.
really-
I think one of the very first things coming into a new community, you want to get to know what the community is about. So I wanted to get to know the teachers, the families, the students, but more importantly, as the leader, I wanted to know, what am I leading? And so I went to our handbook, I read our mission and vision, and I said, you know what, I think, we're going more towards a classical influence. And so I want to include that in our mission and our vision. And so I messaged Father. I was like, Father, let's go through this. And he's like, yes, that's what I'm doing. I was like, oh, wonderful. So I think that alignment really
There are no
helped us.
coincidences.
I know,
It's just
exactly.
the Holy Spirit at work.
It is. It really is. But we were able to really put more detail into it and have an end focus,
And I think that's really, in a nutshell, our dynamic so far. We think alike. We like the same things. We believe in the same approach of Catholic education, and so it's been a joy. It's been a joy. I guess all those pastors who are listening to us, you got to find a principle that you can have that with. And if not, then have a lot of conversations with your current principal and be on the same page, because that makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. The school is a ministry of the parish, and not enough school leaders understand that. It really is a ministry of our parish, and so you have to be in alignment with your pastor in order to go the same direction.
Right.
If you got two boats, you're paddling the different direction, you're never going to go anywhere.
For sure. So what did you guys craft as the mission? Do you want to read it for me here, just so I have an idea?
Absolutely. Why don't you read it?
You have it?
Okay.
All right.
You don't want to get it wrong. So
I don't.
want to get a quote right.
Our mission statement is, inspired by Christ's growth in wisdom and grace, we form students to integrate faith and reason, preparing them to live virtuously and engage the world with clarity, conviction, and charity, ever mindful of their supernatural destiny.
Very good. Yeah. So I can kind of hear a little bit about that classical influence and when it comes to reason and things like that. So,
Right.
So Amanda, did you always kind of have that vision of coming in kind of thinking to yourself, the classical approach? Because I've seen some
Absolutely.
schools go for that. Things like Cathedral High School, people are moving towards more classical curriculum.
Yes, I think it's important. So this is the future of our church. This is who we are forming. And so we need to form them to be able to think deeply, to be able to recognize beauty, defend truth. And one of the best ways to do that is with the classical model. More and more schools are going back to what worked, for 1,000 years. So I think that's definitely something that's influenced me, coming from St. Elizabeth and Seton, where we looked at that and we're also influenced by that model. I think, Cathedral High School as well is a wonderful classical school. Hopefully one day we'll be there, but we're definitely looking at, the richness of the liberal arts, those great books, and incorporating more of that so that our students can think deeply and defend the church. That's
Right.
ultimately what.
Because it seems to me, Amanda, tell me if I'm thinking correctly here, that classical curriculum really gets students to think for themselves and gives you a foundation rather than sort of regurgitating information.
Absolutely. We want those kiddos that can. We want them to argue. I know that's kind of counterintuitive, but we want them to be able to already have truth, understand what it is, be able to recognize it and defend it. So that's the ultimate goal with a classical tradition. And then, of course, our faith is centered, so it's Christ-centered, everything we do. So that's what we are in a nutshell.
Yeah, very good. So, Father Rick, just go back to what Amanda was talking about as the school, parish school, coming off of being part of the parish life of the church. Tell me about then what is the role of a pastor who has a parish school like that? How do you envision what you're supposed to be doing?
Right. Well, I think the role of a pastor, the more I live through this day in and day out, is that capacity to be able to engage my parishioners to evangelize all the families that we serve at the school. It's also about encountering those families and also bring them to some parish activities. Some of them are parishioners already, so that's easy. But then other families, they might not go to any parish at all. They might not be engaged at all in Catholic life. And so I think my role is to do that, to also go for those parents, those families, to make them strong Catholic families, but also to connect them with Shrine of the True Cross. I think it's a matter of understanding my role as a fatherly figure, but also that good shepherd that goes after the lost.
Because in some ways it's encouraging. Maybe even somebody has a Catholic background. Maybe they're sending their kids to a Catholic school, but they themselves haven't been to church in a while. It's almost a form of evangelization in that sense.
Totally. And I mean, like I said previously, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people can have access to almost 100 families for 5 days a week, through their kids and many other activities? I mean, this is a great resource.
And
for evangelization.
Sure, and I appreciate your highlighting the families. Like I said, it's all that community. So, Amanda, then going off of that, I mean, your main focus then hasn't just been about just the students. It's getting connected with family, faculty, everything that you've been talking about, because you guys are all connected in this ministry in a sense.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's a ministry. It is the future of the church, and we want it to grow. And the way to do that, I think one of the biggest evangelizers is school.
Yeah.
People are looking for a good school, a safe environment, a place where their child can thrive. But they're also getting the beauty of our faith. And so I think that's one of the biggest advantages to your kiddo being at a Catholic school, especially at our school.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Tell me about the Amanda, for you, just going back there, because like I said, you have a Catholic education, of course. How do you think that Catholic school formed you personally to be a better person, to be a better Christian follower of Christ? Absolutely.
I think, I come from, my parents went to Catholic school.
Okay.
I went to Catholic school. It was just something that's what we did. Our faith was already a part of our schooling. It was expected to be.
And your kids now?
And now my children go as well. I think for me, being connected to parish was daily life, just part of who we were. We were always up at the church. I think it built that, me wanting that connection for my own family and wanting to share that with other families. The service that you do as a family, the events, the community building. That was a big part of my growing up. The fall festivals we would go to. I remember so many different things we would do. And it was all connected to our parish. So it's something that I think is a beautiful gift you can give a family. And part of why, I did work in the public school sector for a while, and it was nice. It was good. I got to teach the kids. But it was missing that piece of really, community engagement that you get at a parish school.
Yeah. Father Rick, I want to ask you a similar question. I believe you were born in Mexico. Did you have a parish community growing up that's special in the same way that what Amanda's describing?
Yeah, well, I went to Catholic schools all my life, all pre-K all the way through college. and seminary, of course. He was a little Catholic, but yeah.
But did that help?
University of
But did that
Dallas.
help to form you for you to follow your vocation, to try to discern what God wanted for you in your life?
Yes, definitely. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, so many years just listening to what my goal is. You know, as Amanda was talking right now, it came to mind that verse from the Gospel of Mark and Matthew as well, that, Jesus says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but loses its soul? Mm-hmm. So, I think that's what Catholic education does. It's like, it's not just, teaching some skills for a job, but it's actually, emphasizes wisdom for life and eternity. Mm-hmm. And so, emphasizing that since pre-K all the way through college, I mean, definitely forms my heart. Now, I had a late vocation. It came later when I moved to the States, mm-hmm. and I became involved in parish life. So it's interesting that you mentioned, so I was involved in, obviously, Catholic schools, but not attached to a parish.
Okay.
We had a certain kind of interesting dynamic growing up. So the Arriola family is super big. It's a lot of uncles, a lot of aunts, a lot of grandchildren, and so there's a priest in the family. He passed away. That he was a very close friend to all of us, and he was actually the principal of a school, and so we had our own mass Saturday evenings just for the Arriola family at the chapel in the school.
That's incredible.
So we didn't really have a parish, but we had just family.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's neat.
So I grew up like that. Mm-hmm. But it was not when I came here to the States mm-hmm. that I connected with parish life, and I loved it. All these young adult groups and different ministries, and I guess that's what I was missing mm-hmm. in order to, then later when the Lord, opened for me the possibility to become a priest, mm-hmm. it was easier for me to say yes, because I fell in love with parish life. That's why I'm a diocesan priest too, because mm-hmm. I cannot see myself anywhere else except a parish.
Yeah, it's all about fostering that environment where you can have that sense of community, and like I said, hopefully open the doors for others to follow their calling as well. Very good. So, Amanda, I want to follow up with you a little bit more about kind of the work now coming on as principal. I guess we just got started with the school year, so a couple of weeks. In sort of building up the school that's part of the Shrine of the True Cross, what work are you thinking about moving forward? Are there accreditation things that you're trying to do? You had mentioned kind of implementing the classical education, but that seems a bit overwhelming at first. How do you begin to kind of sort through that and say, okay, I need to manage this, meeting people, mm-hmm. getting used to school, and then being able to build it?
Oh, absolutely. So my plan, I started with my staff. Mm-hmm. I brought some professional development that I thought would be really helpful from University of Dallas. Okay. And kind of gave them some of the background knowledge needed to articulate what we're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. Because, good practice is good practice. If you're a good teacher, you will do well, in the classroom. There are certain things that don't change. But remembering where it came from, bringing back that love for teaching is kind of where I wanted to start with my staff. And so we were able to do that in August, have a little time, do some PD, and I got some good feedback that they were excited about what we were going to be doing in the classroom. And so that was really good. I think getting to know the families, we've had a couple of events at the school. Our orientation and our back-to-school barbecue were really great community building events. So mm-hmm. I've really stressed to all my families, to all my teachers, my door is always open. That's just the style, my leadership style. I'm happy to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And so I've received a lot of great feedback. And I feel like I've been there a while because people are trusting me with their opinions, their feelings, what's happening, their vision for the school. And I'm able to kind of share with them, well, this is the path we're going on. And so there's a mutual excitement, mm-hmm. It's building. You can feel it in the school. It's like the momentum. People are excited for what we're doing. Now we are growing. I think we were almost 20 kids more than last year. And so that trend, I hope, will continue, especially as we get our classical influence, share it more with families when they understand their kids are going to be exposed to great poetry, literature, beautiful sacred art, sacred literature, and sacred music as well. We have 2 choirs at our parish now, one that's for the school kiddos and another one that includes our parish family kiddos who are people who want to sing. So just, I think...
That appeals to a lot of people, not just Catholics, but that wants more people to come on board with something like that.
Yep. So I think that's really, it seems like this gigantic task, but to me, it's something that God has shown me. This is how you do it, and I'm just following what His will is for me, and for our school.
That's all you can do, because otherwise you get really overwhelmed real quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if I can say just a little bit about enrollment, because we're all believers here, and your listeners, of course, we're people of faith. I want to say that this was a miracle. About 3 months ago, a little bit over 3 months, we were shooting for only 44 students. I called the Catholic Schools office, and I said, this is happening. This is the only response that I'm getting. Only 44 students so far. I don't know what to do. I don't know what that means, for our school, what's going to happen. I mean, 44 students, I mean, that's nothing. And they said, well, just continue to do what you're doing, definitely pray, Father. I'm like, yes, I'm praying. and I'm having all parishioners pray. We have a prayer after Mass that changes every month. But for like 6 months, we were praying only for increasing enrollment. But at the time, we were also reconsecrating ourselves to St. Joseph. And so I asked the Knights of Columbus if they wanted to purchase a big statue for the reception area of our school. And so before the year ended, we had a Mass. I blessed the statue. We had a little procession from the school to the school office. And I consecrated the current families and future families. I prayed for increasing enrollment, and it was all St. Joseph's doing. I mean, that's pretty much all I did, and now we are 100 students.
So not long after that, then you saw an uptick.
Yes. I mean, just increasing. Families were calling, and then not only like students, but like amazing people like Amanda, applying to be the principal. Yeah. New teachers that were applying. Amanda just mentioned music. I have Chris Bear, who recently was here with you. He's teaching now at True Cross.
Yeah, real talented guy.
Sacred music, and so just all these graces were just coming.
Yeah, amen. Power of prayer and gathering as a group in prayer as well. Very good. Excellent. Well, I also want to give you credit, Father Rick, because, of course, people who follow Shrine of True Cross on social media know you're very active on there. You like to let people know about what's going on at the church. You know about how to use AI and some of these things to create unique images and things like that. Anything on the horizon that we want to let people know that's on the calendar for the parish? Definitely.
So our parish feast day is the Exaltation of the Cross.
Okay.
And we're very blessed that, this year is actually on a Sunday. But the main Mass, the main celebration is going to be Saturday, September 13th. We're going to begin with Mass at 4:30 p.m., followed by a procession with the relic of the True Cross, and then the public veneration. We only do this twice a year, the other day being Good Friday. And people can bring, their scapulars, they can bring their rings, they can bring their rosaries to touch the relic and become a third-class relic. And then it's going to be a party-free reception, hot dogs and other good stuff. And then also all Sunday Masses, the relic is going to be there for public veneration and be able to touch it as well. So that is happening. And then Monday, we usually don't have public Mass, but we have Our Lady of Sorrows. So at 6:45, we're going to have Mass and then a procession with the image of Our Lady of Sorrows with candles. We're going to provide the candles. Last year we did it. It was beautiful. And this year is not going to be an exception. Now, if I can also say that next year we are we're going big with this celebration. True Cross Catholic School is turning 80 years old.
Okay.
And the renaming of our parish from St. Joseph, because the parish name was St. Joseph, then it changed to Shrine of the True Cross when we got the relic.
When did that? How long?
That was 90 years ago next year. Wow. So 90 years of the renaming of our parish and 80 years of the founding of True Cross Catholic School. So we're going to have a big gala. I hope you can have us again here so we can remind people about this great event. But,
well, credit to you for you guys are already thinking about that. What's going to happen next year?
We're not only thinking, we're working.
Oh, yeah. I would say save the date, May 2nd, 2026.
Okay.
Big day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're very excited. Our school was the first parochial school on the mainland for Galveston County. So it's 80 years old. This is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And of course, that whole part of the Houston area continues to grow. Yeah. Well, again, hopefully God will continue to bless the work that you guys are doing. Like I said, I know you're building a lot of stuff up. Hopefully it'll continue to garner the interest of more people and more families to come on board as well. So we really appreciate it. Also, shout out, Amanda, you were in the Texas Catholic Herald recently, a couple of paragraphs. The Texas Catholic Herald is talking about all of the new principals in the Archdiocese. I'm sure this also helps you a lot just be familiar with the Archdiocese.
Absolutely.
In terms of your being able to interact with other folks.
Oh, yes. I think I've been really blessed to be. I know a lot of people in the Archdiocese. It's a wonderful place. You know, a lot of teachers, a lot of admin. We have a great Catholic schools office, a lot of priests, wonderful priests that, you know, since I was little now, you know. So I think it's really beautiful and full circle for me to be able to be a leader at a Catholic school because, you know, my mom worked in Catholic schools for like 30 years, and it really is something that I'm proud of and happy to be a part of. You know, it's something very special to me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know our audience is going to pray for you guys and pray for all of our schools like the priests as well. We really appreciate it. Again, Father Ric Arriola, pastor at Shrine of the True Cross in Dickinson, Texas. Amanda Smith, principal at the school. Thank you both so much. We appreciate your being here.
Thank you
so much for having us.